23rd of October 2009. The MEERKAT Magic Conservation Project, Oudtshoorn, Western Cape, South Africa, and the MEERKAT Magic Valley, just before sunset, and an unedited wildlife documentary clip of the Ungulungu Wild Meerkat group. The 4 babies born on the 25th of August are all alive and well, and have just been on a big foraging expedition looking for food, of course, and they've returned to the burrow fairly early. The wind has picked up even though it's been a very hot day. The meerkats have managed to eat very well, so they seem to just be lazing around a bit now, doing a lot of scent marking, a bit of grooming, a bit of playing, and of course a bit of burrow renovation. The babies must be pretty exhausted. They've had a very long walk today, since they woke up just after sunrise this morning, slightly after 6 o'clock. And I've decided to again shoot this clip handheld rather than this usual tripod shot, and the reason for that is I don't want to disturb the vegetation here. It's very, very thick, and I'm standing very precariously here on a little mound of sand between the vegetation. I don't want to crush any of the plants, just what I like to call a bit of bush etiquette, a consideration for the plants growing here, which are often very slow growing in the semi-desert environment. The older plants, that is. Many of the younger plants only live for a few weeks, then die back after the rainfall, but the ones at the main sleeping areas are very well established. Lots of water, of course, goes into the burrows. One of the reasons I like to call these areas nature's stormwater gutters. Just standing here within a few meters of the meerkats, giving a little hand gesture. I use a displacement reassurance to make sure that they don't have to keep looking at me, and if they do occasionally look, they'll look away again soon, because they recognize these gestures and of course the sounds. Looks like the babies have come across something, busy biting bits of it. Oh, a few termites. Interesting. After the rainfall we've had a few days ago, termites have come up, busy making new colonies, I think, at this stage. The ground's a little bit soft in places, so the meerkats are really feasting. A black-backed jackal has just called. One of the meerkat's predators. Far away though. But the meerkat group is always very alert, especially now with the babies, even more protective than usual. And all the babies are of course looking around as well. Just one brief call and then quiet again. Lovely to see a bit of play fighting there. It's a ritualized behavior. I also like to mention, we don't just think these behaviors are for fun. We're quite sure they are there as a way of learning skills, dexterity and agility and so on. But really importantly, they help to prevent real fighting from happening when animals get very powerful, have sharp nails and teeth, could really damage each other. They now avoid it because of these early rituals that they've gone through. Quite often play fighting in meerkats happens with the younger generations more than the older generations, except of times plenty for food. Then you will find even older animals will partake in the playing. Still a few termites being eaten there. The babies are already starting to become more independent, even though they'll only be weaned off their mother's milk, sitting in this frame here, after about a month and a half. So not too much longer to go, in fact, and they'll stop suckling. They still see occasional suckling happening, but they're definitely moving on to the solid food. And the dominant female should already be pregnant and expecting the next litter. We think around about mid-month next month. It's been extremely hot today. Must be well over 36 degrees centigrade. And this breeze is very refreshing. Meerkats have already been lying under shade for many hours today to get out of the extreme heat mid-afternoon. And I've only returned to the burrow recently as it's cooled down slightly. Lovely bit of pup care going on here from the dominant male, grooming this baby. Babies seldom groom back. As they get older, they will start to reciprocate this allo grooming. Very important part of this bonding for meerkats, I believe, especially when they are well fed. They spend a lot of their time in the late afternoon, quite often, grooming one another. Also gets rid of all the external parasites like ticks and fleas, which will start to accumulate when meerkats have to spend more time at a burrow when babies are just exhausted and cannot follow them away to different burrows, which is usually what happens. Meerkats don't usually spend more than one night at the same sleeping area unless there's a lot of food and it's a big sleeping area, or the babies are there, and the babies might only be able to leave that burrow after about 3 weeks from when they were born.